Right, hello everyone, Jack here from Peach Guitars. We've just received another fantastic shipment from Paul Reed Smith Guitars today, and oh my goodness, this one was one that I had to take a few minutes and talk to you about. But before I do, I just want to remind you to please like this video if you enjoy it, and make sure that you subscribed to our YouTube channel. Okay, so as I say, it's always a special occasion for us whenever we receive a new shipment of PRS guitars. But when there's PRS private stock instruments on that shipment, things get a little bit more exciting. The private stock is kind of the upper tier of PRS's guitar outputs. I'm sure a lot of you watching will be aware of this. And what they've decided to do to commemorate the 35th anniversary of their company is to introduce another addition to the Dragon lineup of guitars. This is the 9th addition to the line. This guitar debuted back in the early 90s, actually before the McCarty model was ever developed, and it was kind of the precursor to that guitar. So to celebrate that lineage, they've carried it on. As I say, this is the 9th version now of the PRS private stock Dragon instrument. And it's got some really, really interesting features. It's kind of an amalgam of different PRS models all thrown together to kind of represent the state that they're currently at in 2020, and to show how far they've come since that initial Dragon design. And indeed just how much further they've come since their inception as a company in '85. So anybody who's aware of PRS's private stock output will know just how exceptional those guitars are. They apply the absolute maximum level of finishing techniques that they have in the Maryland factory to those private stock instruments. They pick out the very best grade of tonewoods that they have, and they always offer a tonally complete and absolutely timeless guitar design in the private stock instruments. But this one, as I said, this is the Dragon edition, so this is kind of Paul's own brainchild that he wanted to... Basically, I think the initial guitar that he developed in the early 90s was just something that he always wanted to see. He always wanted to see a PRS instrument with a Dragon inlay on the fingerboard. And so that kind of legacy has carried on up to this point, and now we're seeing this, which I think is easily the most impressive output that they've ever had in this lineup. So this instrument is incredibly limited from the private stock collection of guitars. This is just one of 135 instruments worldwide. This one happens to be number 8838 from the private stock, and as I said, I just wanted to make a video on it and talk about it for a few minutes before I know that this guitar will sell to a very, very lucky probably collector or enthusiast. But I want to make the case for this as a player's guitar as well, because Paul Reed Smith is known to be very meticulous about the electronic components and the tonewood components that go into his guitars, because he wants them to be put in the hands of guitar players, and that's the most important thing. It always should be, and you should always be reminded of that fact. So let me just talk you through a few of the specs that make up this incredible instrument and why it sounds so amazing. So every guitar in the Dragon series so far has referenced a different body style from PRS's lineup. And as I said, this one references the very first Dragon guitar that they made, which was based on the, up to that point, previously unreleased McCarty model. So this guitar actually has the McCarty body profile. It's got a slightly thicker back, which is made up of African ripple mahogany, so a great tonewood there. And then they're building on that with a gorgeous curly maple top on this guitar as well. So this kind of sits in the McCarty family lineup. You'll feel very at home on this if you know how a McCarty feels and sounds. But obviously you've got the very highest grade of tonewoods that PRS can offer in this private stock instrument. PRS have decided to finish off this gorgeous maple top with their Frostbite Dragon's Breath finish, which is very striking and very appropriate for the style of guitar that this is. Okay, so they're coupling this wood combination on the body with a, I'm going to go out on a limb here and pronounce this as chaltecoco neck, with a 22 fret ziricote fingerboard and a 10-inch fingerboard radius as well. Okay, so accompanying the ziricote fingerboard on this guitar is of course the main star of this instrument's show, which is this incredible Dragon inlay, which was designed by Mr. Jeff Easley, who is a very highly renowned fantasy artwork designer who's had extensive history designing dragons of all sorts for various publications and stuff like that. PRS really wanted to put the maximum amount of impact into this fingerboard, and this incredible inlay was designed by Jeff Easley using over 225 different premium grade components, the full list of which can be found on our website as well as PRS's website. So if you want the full breakdown of all the incredible components that have gone into this inlay, you can find out that information if you so choose, but just the proof is in the fact of how incredible this looks. I think this is one of the coolest inlays I've ever seen on a guitar. Coupled with the tonewood on the fingerboard, I think this adds a really unique kind of tonal character. There's a lot of individual separation between each note on each string, and I do think that that's in large part thanks to the inlay on this fingerboard. So as I said, this is a little bit of an amalgam of different components of different PRS models. So this is a McCarty based body, but you've actually got the current edition of the Paul's Guitars pickups in here. So these are the kind of narrow field humbucking pickups with a split coil option as a push-pull on the tone control, standard 3-way blade switch to choose between the pickups, and a volume control. And these pickups are the Paul's Guitar pickups that have gone under the TCI treatment for 2020 as well. So it's not just the pickups that have been carried over from Paul's Guitar spec. This guitar also have PRS's Stoptail wraparound tailpiece. You've got the Phase 3 locking tuners, and I think it's quite telling in an instrument of this caliber to have so few components on the guitar. I really like the Paul's Guitar in its standard form because of how well connected you feel to that instrument when you play it. And I think that has a large play in the fact that there's so few components on the guitar. You really feel connected to it. So it's great to see this at a private stock level where you've got those excellent tonewoods and finishing options. This really just feels like an instrument that you want to dig into and kind of play for extended periods of time. Okay, so now I'm under no illusion that this kind of guitar is not going to be accessible to a lot of players out there. This is definitely aimed at collectors out there. But as I said, with this video and hopefully the clips that you're going to hear in this video, I wanted to make the case for using this as an instrument as it is intended to be used. So I hope that whoever purchases this incredible instrument will use it as such. And so I wanted to make the case for it as an incredible tone machine as well as a thing of absolute beauty. So as I mentioned, this instrument is one of 135 pieces worldwide for 2020. So I think it's very unlikely that we'll ever see another one of these come through the shop again. So if you're interested in finding out some more relevant information about this guitar that I might not have covered in this video, make sure that you head to peachguitars.com as quickly as you can to find out that information and to be in with a chance of purchasing this incredible instrument for yourself. Okay, so I don't think a whole lot more needs to be said about this incredible guitar. All I think is that it represents the absolute pinnacle of Paul Reed Smith's guitar making knowledge up to this point, up to 2020. So I really can't wait to see what the 10th iteration of the Dragon will represent in terms of the advancements that PRS will make in the future. But up to this point, this is definitely the state of the art. This is the guitar that defines Paul Reed Smith guitars for 2020. So if you'd like to find out more information about this guitar and be in with a chance of purchasing it for yourself, make sure you head to peachguitars.com as quickly as you can. Okay, so thank you as always so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this overview of the private stock Dragons guitar from PRS. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to sit down with it for a few minutes and show it to you. As I said, I hope you've enjoyed it, so if you have, please leave us a like and comment down below with your thoughts. Tell me what you think about this amazing guitar. And as I said, if you're one of the lucky few who's going to be able to purchase this kind of instrument, head over to peachguitars.com as quickly as you can to be in with a chance of doing so. So thank you as always for watching, stay tuned, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.